Hello, welcome to lesson 2B. In this lesson, we will be talking about how people can make a difference in other people's lives. Changing lives is the theme for this lesson. And also, in this lesson, we are going to learn in grammar the present perfect using for and since, and also present perfect continuous. In vocabulary, we're going to learn about some strong adjectives. For example, exhausted, amazed. And in pronunciation, we're going to learn about some sentence stress and stress on strong adjectives. Okay, let's get started then. So take a look at this picture here. Here we have a lot of kids. So let's see how this woman made a huge difference in all those kids and people's lives. To start with, we have a listening activity. Look at the photos. Where do you think they were taken? What can you see in each photo? So let's see. Where do you think they were taken? Which country? What do you think is happening here? Okay, so let's see what is going on. You are going to listen to an interview with Jane talking about a trip she took in 2008. Listen to part 1. Where did she go? What did she decide to do after the trip? Let's see. I will play the audio without the script. If you want to follow with the script, you can look here. It's 1:45. You can come here to listening and look for the script. Okay, 1:45. It's on page 123. It's right here. Okay, so you can follow with the script, but before, try to understand. Okay, try to see how much you can understand from the listening. Listen to it like once, twice, 3 times if necessary, and then you can go to the script. Let's go, let's listen.
1.45 Part 1.
Jane, you're an elementary school teacher and a writer. What kind of books do you write?
Well, I write books for children who are learning English as a foreign language.
How long have you been a writer?
Let me see, since 1990. So for about 22 years.
Tell us about the trip that changed your life. Where were you going?
Well, it was in the summer of 2008, and my family, my husband and I and our 3 children, decided to have a holiday of a lifetime and to go to Africa. We went to Uganda and Rwanda to see the mountain gorillas. It was something we'd always wanted to do. Anyway, about halfway through the trip, we were in Uganda and we were traveling in a lorry when the lorry broke down. So the driver had to find a mechanic to come and help fix it.
And then what happened?
Well, as soon as we stopped, lots of children appeared and surrounded us. I could see some long buildings quite near, so I asked the children what they were, and they said in English, "That's our school." And I was very curious to see what a Ugandan school was like, so I asked them to show it to me.
What was it like?
I was shocked when I first saw it. The walls were falling down, the blackboards were broken, and there weren't many desks. But the children were so friendly, and I asked them if they would like to learn a song in English. They said yes, and I started teaching them some songs, like Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes, a song I've used all over the world to teach children parts of the body. Almost immediately, the classroom filled up with children of all ages, and they all wanted to learn. I was just amazed by how quickly they learned the song.
Did you meet the teachers?
Yes, we did, and the headmaster too. He explained that the school was called St. Joseph's, and it was a community school for orphans, very poor children, and refugees. I asked him what the school needed. I thought that he might say, "We need books or paper," and then later we could send them to him. But actually, he said, "What we need is a new school." And I thought, yes, of course, he's right. These children deserve to have better conditions than this to learn in. So when I got back home, my husband and I, and other people who were with us on the trip, decided to set up an organization to get money to build a new school.
Okay, so if you didn't understand, please listen again and follow with the script, okay? So, questions for you. Where did she go? What did she decide to do after the trip? Please pause the video and answer. Okay, so if you answered that she went to Africa, to Uganda and Rwanda, you were right. And after the trip, she decided to set up an organization to get money to build a new school. That's what she and her husband decided to do. Okay, great. So now listen again. What does Jane say about her normal job, the vacation to Uganda? What happened when the lorry broke down? Lorry is a British word for truck. Okay. What does she say about the condition of the school? What does she say about the children? And what the headmaster asked her for? Headmaster of a school is the principal. It's a British word for principal. Okay. Excellent. So pause the video and answer these questions. Okay, so let's get the answer. So number one, uh, what she says about her normal job, that she is an elementary school teacher and a writer. Number two, she went to Uganda in 2008 with her family to see the gorillas. Three, lots of children appeared. They wanted to show Jane their school. Four, it was in a very bad condition, falling down, blackboards broken, not many desks. Five, the children were very friendly. They were all different ages and they all wanted to learn the song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. They learned it very quickly. In six, the headmaster told them about the school, St. Joseph's, a school for poor children, orphans, and refugees. When Jenny asked him what he needed, he said they needed a new school. Okay, so these are the answers to this listening activity. All right. Now, moving on, we're going to check on part two. You're going to listen to part two and you need to correct the wrong information in these sentences below. I recommend you read carefully all these 9 sentences before you listen to the audio so you can check the information you will need, okay? So one, Janie's son chose the name Adelante Africa, which means go forward Africa in Spanish. Two, the new school opened in 2012. Today the school has 75 children. 4. Adelante Africa has also been trying to improve the children's English. 5. They are building a home for the teachers. 6. Two of Janie's children have been helping in Uganda. 7. Janie says the school has changed children's life because it has given them an education. 8. Jane thinks that she gives more than she gets. And 9. The website has a video Jane's daughter took of her teaching the children. Okay, so now listen and check your answers. And remember, on page 123, you can check for more for the script, okay, of the track 46. Let's go. Let's listen and correct the wrong information in these sentences. All the 9 sentences have a wrong information that you need to check, okay?
1.46. Part 2.
So Adelante Africa was born. Why did you decide to call it that?
Well, we wanted a name that gave the idea of Africa moving forward. And my husband is Spanish, and he suggested Adelante Africa because in Spanish, adelante means go forward. And Adelante Africa sort of sounded better than go forward Africa.
How long did it take to raise the money for the new school?
Amazingly enough, not long really, only about 2 years. The school opened on the 14th of March 2010 with 75 children. Today, it has nearly 500 children.
That's great. I understand that since the new school opened, you've been working on other projects for these children.
Yes. When we opened the school, we realized that although the children now had a beautiful new school, they couldn't really make much progress because they were suffering from malnutrition, malaria, things like that. So we've been working to improve their diet and health. And at the moment, we're building a house where children who don't have families can live.
And are your children involved in Adelante Africa too?
Yes, absolutely. They all go out to Uganda at least once a year. My daughter Tessie runs the Facebook page, and my other daughter Anna runs a project to help children to go to secondary school. And Georgie, my son, organises a football tournament there every year.
And how do you think you have most changed the children's lives?
I think the school has changed the children's lives because it has given them hope. People from outside came and listened to them and cared about them. But it's not only the children whose lives have changed. Adelante Africa has also changed me and my family. We have been very lucky in life. I feel that life has given me a lot. Now I want to give something back. But it's not all giving. I feel that I get more from them than I give. I love being there. I love their smiles and how they have such a strong sense of community. And I love feeling that my family and the other members of Adelante Africa are accepted as part of that community.
And do you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's www.adelanteafrica.com. We've had the website for about 4 years. It was one of the first things we set up. If you'd like to find out more about Adelante Africa, please go there and have a look. There are lots of photos and even a video my son took of me teaching the children to sing on that very first day. Maybe it will change your life too. Who knows?
Cute. Okay, so if necessary, please play again. Let's check your answers. Okay, so number 1. So Janie's husband chose the name. In number two, the new school opened in 2010, not 12. Number three, the school has almost 500 children. Four, Adelante Africa has also been trying to improve the children's diet and health. Five, they are building a house for the children who don't have families. Six, all three of Janie's children have been helping. The school has changed children's lives because it has given them hope. Jane thinks that she gets more than she gives. And nine, Janie's son took the video of her teaching the children. Okay, excellent. Now, activity E. Compare your answers with a partner, then listen again to check. This activity will not be possible, but try to check again your answers. Listen to the audio once again so you can check the information, okay? Letter F, you can answer this question. Do you know anybody like Jane who does a lot of work for a charity? What do they do? Okay, so you can write down this answer or share with me. All right, we're now moving on to next page, page 19, so we can work on grammar. Present perfect plus for or since, and the present perfect continuous. So let's see the main differences here. To start with, can you match the questions and the answers? How long has Jane been a writer? Since 2008, for about 22 years, or C, for 4 years. 2, cotton. Ai, gente, tem que ter paciência. organizando, gente. Eu quero terminar isso logo. Vocês estão fazendo muito barulho. Ó, na roupa não, por favor, tá? Eu não vou mais lavar roupa antes de sair. Mãe, eu ainda deu ideia de colocar aqui no balde. A gente lava, a gente lava. Claro que vai lavar. Com certeza vai lavar. Gente, sem fazer barulho. Põe esse balde lá do outro lado, Luísa. Letter A. Match the questions and answers. How long has Jane been a writer? 2. How long has Adelante Africa had a website? A website. 3. How long has she been working for Adelante Africa? Letter A. Since 2008. B. For about 22 years. Or C. For 4 years. Pause the video and match the questions and answers. Okay, you're ready? So number 1 is letter B. Jane has been a writer for about 22 years. Adelante Africa, number 2, has had a website for 4 years. And she's been working for Adelante Africa since 2008. Okay? All right. So now answer with a partner. These questions these questions are about the grammar. You can think about the answer. Okay? In one, are there 3 questions and answers in A about a period of time in the past, a period of time from the past until now, or C, a period of time in the present? So let's take a look at these questions here in letter A. Are they about a period of time in the past, a period of time from the past until now, or a period of time in the past? So now what is the difference in form, in the structure, between the first 2 questions and question 3? What is the difference? How long has Jane been a writer? How long has Adelante Africa had a website? These 2 questions, how different are they from question number 3? How long has she been working for Adelante Africa? Pause the video and answer the questions. Okay, so if you answered in number 1 that it's a period of time from the past until now, you got right. Okay, so they are about a period of time from the past until now. And questions 1 through 3, they are different in structure because here we are using present perfect tense. How long has Jane been a writer? How long has Adelante Africa had a website? So these 2 sentences, they are present perfect, the simple form, okay? And in 3, we have has she been working, a verb with ing. So this is present perfect continuous, which is exactly what we are going to learn now in grammar, okay? Let's go to page 135 so we can learn more things about it. Alright, so here we will learn about the present perfect using for and since, the present perfect continuous also using for and since, okay? Let's see here.
1.47.
Please repeat.
They've known each other for 10 years.
Julia has had that bag since she was in college.
How long have you worked here?
Since 1996.
How long has your brother had his motorcycle?
For about a year.
Okay, so now let's check here. In this first part of the grammar, we are going to learn how to use for and since. So here we use the present perfect with for or since with non-action verbs. For example, these non-action verbs are state verbs. They don't usually express an action. For example, like, have, know, decide. Okay, so think. These are some verbs that are usually non-action verbs, and therefore we usually use the present perfect with them. So how long have you worked here? Since 1996, or for about a year. So here we can use since when we are talking about a period of time, talk about something that started in the past and is still true now. So since is the to talk about when the action began. So it began back then in 1996, and it is still in progress. Okay, so I still work here. So I have worked here since 1996. But for example, for we use for to talk about duration of time, all the total amount of time that you have done something. Okay, so I have worked my brother has had his motorcycle for about a year, so this is the total amount of time that he has had his motorcycle. Okay, just to emphasize here, we use the present perfect with for, since, and how long in this occasion here to talk about something that started in the past and that it is still true now. Okay, so here we are using the present perfect because these are non-action verbs. They don't express an action, it's more of a state. They've known each other for 10 years is the same as they met 10 years ago and they still know each other today. How long is used with the present perfect to ask about an unfinished period of time. So it started in the past and it is still true now, from the past until now. As I said, we use for plus a period of time for 2 years, or since plus a point of time. For example, since 1990. We don't use attention to this. We don't use the simple present with for or since. So it's wrong to say they know each other for a long time. We don't say that. They have known each other for a long time. This is present perfect. Okay, so please be careful. Now, we are going to learn about the present perfect continuous. Let's listen to these examples and please repeat.
1.48. 1.
How long have you been learning English?
Nick has been working here since April.
They've been going out together for about 3 years.
2.
Your eyes are red. Have you been crying?
No, I've been cutting onions.
Okay, so now we have here the difference in this structure. The present perfect continuous, we usually use have or has. If it's he, she, it is has. For the other persons, we usually use have plus been plus a verb with ing. For example, how long have you been learning? Can you see? Learning English. Nick has been working here since April. They've been going out together for about 3 years. So, just like in the present perfect, we can also use since and for with the present perfect continuous. Okay, the difference is that here we are using action verbs. Okay, so verbs that express in action. For example, here, let's see some cases where we can use the present perfect continuous. We can use the present perfect continuous with for and since with action verbs. For example, learn, work, go, etc. To talk about actions that started in the past and are still true now. Okay, so now we're using action verbs. So we use the present perfect continuous. Don't use present continuous. So it is wrong to say I am working here for 2 years. It's not correct. I have been working here for 2 years. We can also use the present perfect continuous for continuous or repeated actions that have been happening very recently. The actions have usually just finished. So imagine the situation here in this picture. The woman has been cooking dinner and she was cutting right now she's cutting the carrot, not the onion. The onion she has already finished. So the husband arrives at home and asks her, your eyes are red. Have you been crying? No, I've been cutting onions. So as you can see, this is a carrot. She has already finished cutting the onions. I've been cutting onions, but did she finished cutting onions like recently, like a moment ago, and now she's already bearing the consequences of cutting the onions. So that's why her eyes are still red because she's been cutting onions, but she's not doing it at the moment. Okay, usually it's not that you can't do that. For example, I have been studying English for 12 years now. I am still studying English and I will continue studying English. So you can also use this way, okay? But here is just to express that it's very common to use in this context. You've just finished doing something, and then you say, I've been cutting the onions. I'm not doing it now anymore. I finished. Okay. All right. So this is the present perfect continuous. As you can see here, the structure for the affirmative sentences, I have he, she, it has been with a verb and ing. In the negative, it's just like in the present perfect, okay? Just using haven't. In the questions, you can use have plus been and the verb with ing. The short answers we will use yes, I have or no, I haven't. Okay. And again, important, when you're talking about work and live, they are often used in either present perfect or present perfect continuous with the same meaning. I've lived here since 1980. I've been living here since 1980. It doesn't make difference. You can use both ways. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Now, you will go through these 10 sentences and you are going to correct the mistakes. For example, Harry is unemployed since last year. We have just studied this, that we never use present simple together with since or for. Never. Okay? So, Harry has been unemployed since last year. Now let's go. Pause the video and try to to correct the mistakes in these 10 sentences. Okay, you ready? Let's check your answers then. Okay, in number 1, we have the sentence, we've had our new apartment since 6 months. 6 months is duration of time. So the correct is to use for 6 months. In number 2, hi Jackie, how are you? I don't see you for ages. Again, we don't use for together with the simple present. I haven't seen you for ages. Remember that see is not an action verb, okay? That's why we need to use present perfect, the simple form. It's not an action verb. 3, how long are you knowing your husband? So here, the verb to know is not an action verb. You cannot use it in the continuous form. The correct is, how long have you known your husband? Present perfect, the simple form. Number 4, Emily has been a volunteer for 10 years ago. So in this sentence here, for 10 years ago, we don't need to use ago. Ago is simple past, okay? For 10 years. It's just correct. It's good. It's good enough. Number 5, Paul doesn't eat anything since yesterday because he's sick. So Paul, we can't use doesn't present simple present with since or for. So Paul hasn't eaten anything since yesterday because he is sick. Okay. Number 6, it hasn't rained since 2 months. In number 6, we can use for because we have a duration of time for 2 months. Number 7, how long has your parents been married? In number 7, we use how long have your parents been married? Because we use have with plural nouns. Have your parents been married? Number 8, they're having their dogs since they got married. The verb to have is not an action verb, it's a state verb. So we can't use continuous. In number 8, we say they've had their dog since they got married. Number 9, I haven't gotten any emails from my brother for last winter. So last winter is the last time I got any emails from my brother. Okay, so since last winter. In number 10, my grandmother lives in the same house all her life. We don't use present, simple present with to state to talk about something that started in the past and is still true today. So my grandmother has lived in the same house all her life. Okay. Now for the next exercise, make sentences with the present perfect or present perfect continuous and for or since if necessary. Use present perfect continuous if possible. So let's go. Example, I work for a charity 8 years. I've been working for a charity for 8 years. Please pause the video and try to do. Are you ready? Let's check your answers now. Okay, so in number 1, it is possible to write we've known each other since we were children. 2, the children have been playing computer games for 2 hours. 3, has your sister had her hairstyle for a long time? 4, I've loved her since the first day we met. 5, my internet connection hasn't been working since yesterday. 6, how long have you been waiting? 7, I've been a teacher for 3 years. 8, it's been snowing since 5 o'clock this morning. 9, Sam hasn't been studying enough recently. And 10, have you been living in Chicago for a long time? Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions. Now, let's get back to page 19. Now we're going to work on some pronunciation and sentence stress. Here, important information. We will focus and stress the main information, the words that carry the information. Okay, so we are going to learn how to stress them here in a sentence. Let's start with this one. Number 1, how long? And then you're going to see here we have 1, 2, 3 spaces for you to write the words. Okay, so please listen and write down the stressed words in the large pink rectangles. These words that you are going to write are the words that are stressed. Okay, let's go.
1.49. 1,
How long have you been learning French?
2,
I've been learning French for 3 years.
3,
How long has it been raining?
4, It's been raining since lunchtime.
5,
How long have you been waiting?
6,
I've been waiting for half an hour.
Okay, so listen again if necessary. Now, let's check it here. Look at the stressed words and try to remember what the unstressed words are. Then listen again to check and write them in. Okay, so listen once again. And now I know that you have already written here, so listen again and check. So here are the words. The big rectangles are the words that are usually stressed, okay? So number 1, how long have you been learning French? 2, I've been learning French for 3 years. 3, how long has it been raining? 4, it's been raining since lunchtime. 5, how long have you been waiting? 6, I've been waiting for half an hour. Okay, so listen again, practice, focus on the stressed words, copy the rhythm, okay, and practice. After this, you are going to listen to some short words and then you're going to make questions with them. For example, you will hear, it's snowing, and you need to ask a question, make a question. How long has it been snowing? Let's go. Get ready.
1.50. 1,
It's snowing. How long has it been snowing?
2,
I'm learning Korean. How long have you been learning Korean?
3,
Natalia has been working in Brazil. How long has Natalia been working in Brazil?
4,
John is looking for a job. How long has John been looking for a job?
5,
They're living with Mary's parents. How long have they been living with Mary's parents?
6,
I'm going to salsa classes. How long have you been going to salsa classes?
7,
It's raining. How long has it been raining?
8,
Justin is going out with Brittany. How long has Justin been going out with Brittany?
Okay. Great. Now, This conversation class is going to be practiced in our online class, okay? So look at the circles and write something in as many as you can. So here we have a social networking site you use regularly, a friend you know very well, the car or motorcycle or bike you have, a sport to play regularly or a kind of exercise you do regularly, the place where you live, a cafe or restaurant you often go to, a gadget you have that is very important to you, an organization, club, or gym you are a member of. Oops. Something you're learning to do. So after you write an example for each of these circles here, you can ask somebody if you want to, or you can practice this in class. Okay, so but you can get ready for them. Writing questions like, how long have you been doing the thing that is written in the circle? Okay, so you can do this for your own answers. How long have you been a member of your club, for example? Okay, and then you can practice answering these questions. Okay, think of extra questions you can add to it. Do you write things on it? Like, for example, how long have you been using Twitter? For about a year. Do you write things on it or do you just read other people's tweets? Why did you buy a Nissan Juke? How long have you had it? Because it's small and it's very green. Okay, so it's just for you to develop a conversation. All right, so now let's move on to the next page. And this page here, we are going to have a reading and listening activity. So let's see here. In your country, are there charity events to raise money for a good cause? If do you remember this verb or this expression to raise money? Have you ever taken part in one? What did you do? How much money did you raise? So you're going to read an article about Helen Skelton, who agreed to kayak down the Amazon for charity. Read the introduction and answer these questions. So here, we're going to read the introduction to this adventure. TV hosts Amazon Challenge. Helen Skelton hopes to become the first woman to kayak down the Amazon River. Helen Skelton is a 26-year-old TV host of Blue Peter, a show for young people. She has never been afraid of a challenge. Last year, she became the second woman to complete the 78-mile ultramarathon in Namibia, running the 3 consecutive marathons in 23 hours and 50 minutes. But when Blue Peter decided to do something to raise money for the charity Sports Relief, which sponsors projects around the world, Skelton said that she wanted an even bigger challenge. So they suggested that she kayaked 1,099 miles down the Amazon from Nauta in Peru to Almeirim in Brazil. This is a very risky trip. There are no roads and no towns, only rainforest and the river, which is sometimes more than 24 miles wide and infested with crocodiles. If she gets sick, it will take around 11 hours to fly her to a hospital. Helen has only been kayaking once before in her life, so she has been training 4 hours a day. Last week, she arrived at the Amazon in Peru. After 2 days of kayaking, she made the first of her phone calls. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so please pause the video, check the words you don't know, read again to check if you can really understand the introduction to this adventure. Okay, now you're going to answer these questions here. Uh, you're going to read an article about Helen Skelton who agreed to kayak down the Amazon. Okay, so read the introduction and answer these questions. What did Helen do last year for charity? What is she hoping to do this year? What is dangerous about her trip? What experience does she have? Okay, so let's pause the video and answer your questions. Let's check now the answers. So, in number one, she ran a 78-mile ultra marathon in Namibia. She ran 3 consecutive marathons. Number two, to kayak 1,998 miles down the Amazon from Nauta in Peru to Almeirim in Brazil. 3. The river is full of crocodiles. She will be a long way from civilization. So if something happens to her, it will take a long time to get to a hospital. Number 4. She has only been kayaking once before. So this is her only experience. Okay. In C, before you read the text of Helen's first 3 phone calls, imagine what kinds of problems you think she had on her trip. Then read and check. Were you right? Okay, so let's go through her phone calls. Okay, so during this adventure, during this trip, she had a chance to make 3 phone calls in different times during her trip. I will read for you, and you're going to help me to get which problems she had. Notice that there are some spaces in blank here. This is going to be our following activity. Okay, so let's just focus on the problems that she had during her trip. So phone call number 1. Everything went wrong. I only managed half a day on Wednesday. The first day on Thursday we started late, so I've been suffering from the heat. It's absolutely, and the humidity is 100 at lunchtime. I went the wrong way and I had to paddle against the current. I was They asked me, "Do you want to give?" But I said no because I've also been having a wonderful time. There are pink dolphins, pink, not gray, that come close to the boat. I think that if I can do 62 miles a day, then I can make it. This is her first phone call. So, which problems did you notice here? So, take notes. Let's go to phone call number 2. I've been on the Amazon for a week now, and I've been paddling for 6 out of the 7 days. The river is incredibly, and it's very hard to paddle in a straight line. The weather is so brown that I can't see my paddle once it goes under the surface. It looks like melted. I start at 5:30 in the morning and I for at least 10 hours from 5:30 a.m. until dark, with only a short break for lunch. My hands have been giving me problems. I have big blisters. I now have them bandaged in white tape. I'm usually on the water for at least 10 hours. It's, at times, and exciting at others. I listen to music on my iPod. I've been listening to Don't Stop Me Now by Queen to inspire me. Okay, so read again, pause, and focus on the problems that she is stating here on her second phone call. You're done. Now let's move on to phone call 3. I haven't been very well this week. The problem is exhaustion. They say it's because I haven't been drinking enough water. I have been traveling 62 miles a day, which is my target, but yesterday, after 52 miles, I was feeling and my head was aching, and I had to stop and rest. So, again, focus on phone call 3. Which problems is her suffering from? Okay, you got it? Perfect. So now, uh, sorry, here. Let's say if you were right. So she only kayaked half a day. She started late. She's been suffering from the heat and humidity. She went the wrong way. She has problems with her hands. She's been suffering from heat exhaustion because she hasn't been drinking enough water. Okay, I hope you got right. Excellent. Now, you are going to read phone calls 1 through 3 once again, and this time you're going to fill in the blanks with the correct word. Then listen and check. So here, in number 1, she's saying here, everything went wrong. I only managed half a day on Wednesday, the first day, and on Thursday we started late. So I am already. Number 1, I am already, letter A, in front, letter B, behind, or C, back. Number 2, I've been suffering from the heat. It's absolutely, and the humidity is 100% at lunchtime. So it's absolutely. 2, freezing, hot, or boiling. 3, I was 3, exhausted, angry, or lost. 4, they asked me, do you want to give down, give up, or give over? 5, the river is incredibly, and it's very hard to paddle in a straight line. So the river is incredibly long, wide, or short? 6. It looks like melted. Melted ice cream, coffee, or chocolate? 7. I start at 5:30 in the morning and die for at least 10 hours. For at least 10 hours. A. Sleep. B. Paddle. Or C. Rest. 8. It's at times and exciting at others. It's boring, B. Interesting, or C. Worrying. 9. I haven't been very well this week. I haven't been being, feel, or feeling. 10. I was feeling and my head was aching and I had to stop and rest. I was feeling sick, well, or hard. Please pause the video and answer the questions. Okay, now let's listen to the rest of Helen's trip down the Amazon. Before, let me just show you the answers. Number 1, letter B, behind. Number 2, letter C. Okay, so B, C, boiling. Number 3, letter A, exhausted. Number 4, letter B, give up. 5, letter B, wide. 6, chocolate. 7, letter B, paddle. 8, letter A, boring. 9, letter C, feeling. 10, letter A, sick. Okay. Now, yes, you will listen to the rest of Helen's trip down the Amazon. Did she manage to finish? Let's see.
1.52. Phone call 4.
I haven't had any music for the last 3 days because my iPod broke, so paddling has been getting more boring. To pass the time, I count or I name countries in my head, and sometimes I just look up at the sky. Sometimes the sky is pink with clouds that look like cotton, and other times it's dark like the smoke from a fire, and sometimes it's bright blue. The day that I reached the halfway point in my trip, the sky was bright blue. I'm superstitious, so I didn't celebrate. There's still a very long way to go.
Phone call 5.
This week, the mosquitoes have been driving me crazy. They obviously think I'm easy food. They especially like my feet. I wake up in the night when they bite me, and I can't stop scratching my feet. But I'm feeling happier now than I've been feeling for weeks. I've seen a lot of amazing wildlife this week. One day, I found myself in the middle of a group of dolphins. There were about 6 pairs jumping out of the water. I've also seen enormous butterflies, iguanas, and vultures that fly above me in big groups. Yesterday, a fish jumped into my kayak. Maybe it means I'm going to be lucky. I'm starting to feel a little sad that this adventure is coming to an end.
And finally in the news, TV host Helen Skelton has successfully completed her 1,998-mile trip down the Amazon River in a kayak. She left from Nauta in Peru 6 weeks ago on a trip that many people said would be impossible. But yesterday, she crossed the finish line at Almarin in Brazil to become the first woman to paddle down the Amazon. Here's Helen.
It's been hard, but I've had an amazing time. The only thing I've really missed is my dog Barney. So, the first thing I'm going to do will be to pick him up and take him for a nice long walk.
She made it! Okay, so listen again. You can go to the scripting listening here, probably page 124. Okay, and you can listen again to check if you can really understand what they are saying. Okay, great. So now also about this listening, about this audio you've just listened to, you are going to answer these questions here. In phone call 4, why hasn't she had any music for 3 days? What does she do to pass the time? Why didn't she celebrate reaching the halfway point? Phone call 5, what have been driving her crazy this week? What wildlife has she seen? Why is she starting to feel a little sad? The 6 o'clock news. How many miles did she do altogether? How long did the trip take? What did Helen miss? What is the first thing she's going to do when she gets home? Pause the video, listen again, okay, and answer the questions. Okay, so let's check. So in number 1, she hadn't been listening music for 3 days because her iPod broke. Number 2, she counts or names countries in her head, and sometimes she just looks up at the sky. 3, because she is superstitious. 4, mosquitoes. 5, dolphins, enormous butterflies, iguanas, vultures. 6, because her adventure is coming to an end. 7, 1998. 8, 6 weeks. 9, her dog. 10, take her dog for a long walk. Okay. Excellent. Now you can say or write about an adventure sport you've done or an exciting experience you've had. Was it positive? Was it a positive experience? Why or why not? How did you feel? Right? Perfect. Now, in vocabulary and pronunciation. To finish the lesson here, we're going to focus on these strong adjectives. Some adjectives have a strong meaning. For example, I had to paddle against the current. I was exhausted. Exhausted means very tired. I've had a fantastic time. Fantastic means very good. With the strong adjectives, you can use absolutely or really, but not very. I've been suffering from the heat. It's absolutely boiling. So we say absolutely boiling, not very boiling. It's incorrect because it has already a strong meaning, okay? In this exercise in letter A, we're going to learn other words that we can use as strong adjectives. For example, in number 1, was Lisa's father angry about the car? Yes, he was furious. So we have the association of furious and angry. Very angry. He was furious. Furious is the strong adjectives. And angry we can use with very, for example. Very angry. Number two, let's do the rest now. Is Oliver's apartment? Yes, it's really tiny. Just a bedroom and the living room. So, tiny, please check the word on in a dictionary before you think of the weak adjective for tiny. Okay, so pause the video and go through all these phrases here up to 11. You're finished? You finished? Okay, so let's check your answers now. I'm going to play the audio and you're going to check.
1.53. 1,
Was Lisa's father angry about the car?
Yes, he was furious.
2,
Is Oliver's apartment small?
Yes, it's really tiny. Just a bedroom and a living room.
3,
Are you afraid of flying?
Yes, I'm terrified. I never fly anywhere.
4,
Was the food good?
Yes, it was delicious.
5,
Are you very hungry?
I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day.
6,
Is your parents' house big?
It's enormous. It has 7 bedrooms.
7,
Was it cold in Moscow?
It was freezing, -20 degrees.
8,
Was Jack's kitchen dirty?
It was filthy. It took us 3 hours to clean it.
9,
Are your parents happy about the wedding?
They're excited. In fact, they want to pay for everything.
10,
Was the movie funny?
It was hilarious. We laughed all the way through.
11,
Are you sure you locked the door?
I'm positive. I remember turning the key.
12,
Were you surprised to hear that Ted is getting married?
I was absolutely amazed. I never thought it would happen.
Okay. So here, just to check. In number 1, we have angry, 2, small, 3, afraid, 4, good, 5, hungry, 6, big, 7, cold, 8, dirty, 9, happy, 10, funny, and hilarious. 10, okay, no, only funny, sorry. 11, sure. 12, surprised. And then surprised, that's right. Okay, perfect. Now let's go to communication. In this activity we are going also to do during our class. Okay, so we are going to take a look here. You have to ask B your questions and he or she responds with the phrases in parentheses. So for example, is the water cold? And you are going to check if he answers it correctly. Yes, it's freezing. Was the movie good? Yes, it was fantastic. Okay, so we are going to use the strong adjectives for the words that are being used here. Okay, so here just for you to understand what we are going to do during our online class. Here we have more questions with the answers using the strong adjectives. Okay. All right. So now, um, here we have some questions. You can answer them in your notepad. 1. Have you ever been swimming in a place where the water was absolutely freezing? 2. Is there anything that makes you furious about car drivers or bike riders in your country? 3. Are there any animals or insects that you're terrified of? 4. What's the most delicious meal you've had recently? 5. Is there a comedian or a comedy series on TV in your country that you think is absolutely hilarious? Okay, so answer these questions. And as a writing activity, you are going to write an informal email on page 114. Here's what you're going to do. So, letter A. Marisol went to the US and stayed for 6 months with a couple, Angela and Matt, working as an au pair. Au pair is the same thing as babysitter. After going back to Peru, she sent them an email. Look at the list of things she says in her email. Number them in a logical order. So here you have her email, and here is the logical order that you're going to number from 1 through 6. Okay? We can try to number them before checking the email. So she promises to send some photos. She thanks them for her stay and says how much she enjoyed it. She talks about what she's been doing recently. She apologizes for not writing before. She thanks them again and invites them to stay. She talks about the nice things that happened when she was with them. So number them in a logical order. Okay, now let's read Marisol's email and check your answers. Hi, Angela. So here we have Marisol writing to Angela. The subject is thanks. Hi, Angela. I am really sorry for not writing sooner, but I am very busy since I got back. Thanks for a wonderful 6 months. I loved being in Colorado and I had a great time. I also think my English got a little better, don't you think? It was so nice to take care of Austin and Melissa. I thought they were adorable, and I think we had a fantastic time together. I have really good I have really good memories. For example, our travel to Denver and the amusement park there. I've been a little stressed these last few weeks because I've started working at a restaurant while I look for a full-time job. Be a waitress is very hard work, but I can now afford to rent an apartment with Sophia and 2 other friends, and I'm saving for to buy a car. I've also spent a lot of time with my family. My brothers have changed so much over the past 6 months. I've had several messages from Austin and Melissa since I've been back. Please tell them from me that I miss them and that I send them some photos very soon. That's all for now. Thanks again for everything, and I hope you know you're welcome in Lima anytime. My family would love to meet you. Summer here is usually beautiful. Hope to hear from you soon. Give my regards to Matt. Best wishes, Marisol. P.S. I've attached a photo I took of me with the kids. I hope you like it. So this is Marisol and the kids. Okay, so now coming back to the sentences here. Let's see, check, compare with the email to see if you got the right order. Pause and check. Right? Let's check. So, number one, she apologizes. Okay, so first she apologizes for not writing before. Then she thanks them for her stay. So she thanks them. Uh, oops, sorry. She thanks them for her stay. Then she talks about the nice things that happened. 4, she talks about what she's been doing recently. She's been doing recently. 5, she promises to send some photos. And 6, she thanks them again and invites them to stay. So this is the correct order. 524, 163. Okay. Now, did you notice these words that have been highlighted in the text in this email? You need to correct 8 mistakes in the email. Grammar in blue, vocabulary in green, yellow, punctuation, and red, the spelling. Okay, so please check and correct. I am my English, don't you think? Travel, for, to buy, be, messages, say, I send. Pause the video and correct. Okay, you finished? So, grammar, we don't say I am, but I've been. In the next one, let me show you here. Okay, so I've been very busy. The next we have here is being. So being, it's beginning of sentence. Being a waitress is very hard work. For, to buy, we can only use I'm saving to buy a car. And send, I send them some photos very soon. So it's future, I will send them some photos very soon. Okay. In vocabulary, we have trip, the word trip. So, for example, our travel to Denver. This is a noun. We use our trip. In punctuation, we have the word English. Here in yellow. I also think my English got a little better. Okay, so English is capital letter. And don't, we need to use an apostrophe here. Spelling, we have the word messages, M-E-S-S. Okay, very well. So here, important, useful language in informal emails. We use hi with the person's name or dear with the name if you want to be a little more formal. Dear is something like caro, okay? Hi, and the name of the person. Sorry for not writing sooner. but thank you or thanks so much for your letter, for having me to stay. It was great to hear from you. And endings to conclude a letter or an email, we can use that's all for now. Hope to hear from you soon, or looking forward to hearing from you soon. This expression here, looking forward to, means that you are anxious to do this, okay? And notice that the verb is usually with ing. Give my regards, give my love to, best wishes, or love from. PS. We write PS when you want to add a short message at the end of an email. I've attached a photo. Okay, so it means post script after the script, after the letter. Okay, now you're going to imagine you have some American friends in the US and just stayed with them for a week last month. Write an email to say thank you. Plan what you're going to say. Use 1 through 16a and the useful language in box. So you can use this order to organize your letter and consider these useful language phrases in your letter as well, okay? You can send me this letter here to my email, okay? Teacher Carol Official at gmail.com. Okay, and please check your email for spelling mistakes. All right, so this is lesson 2B. Now that we finish here, remember, go to workbook. You have some extra activities you can do here to enhance your learning experience, okay? Here you will have some grammar exercises, some pronunciation exercises. Here, for example, we're going to work on the sentence rest, listen and complete the sentences. I will play here so you can listen and complete, okay?
File 2B. Pronunciation. 1,
I've been traveling all day.
2,
How long have they been going out together?
3,
She's been feeling sick since yesterday.
4,
They haven't been living here for long.
5,
We've been cleaning the house all morning.
6,
I haven't been sleeping well lately.
Okay, so please now write down the words. And then we have here a reading activity. You can read the text, check the answers here. We have some vocabulary exercises to practice the strong adjectives. Okay. And now we have a listening. I'm going to play the listening for you as well.
File 2B. Listening.
And now, to end the show with an inspirational story, we have John to tell us about an incredible trip.
Yes, thank you, Nora. Have you ever thought about traveling around the world and trying to help people as you go? Well, that's what an American father and his 2 adopted sons are currently doing. J.D. Lewis is a single parent and a former actor. He's taken his sons Jackson, age 14, and Buck, age 9, out of school for a year to make the trip with him. And their plan is to help people along the way by doing volunteer charity work.
That sounds wonderful, but it must be an expensive trip. How much will it all cost?
It's going to cost them $300,000 in total.
That's a lot of money. How did they afford it?
Well, J.D. Lewis didn't have all the money, so he set up an organization called 12 in 12 to help raise money. And with the help of individuals and some companies, they managed to raise the money.
12 in 12. That's an unusual name. Why did he call it that?
For a very good reason. Not only is their trip going to last 12 months, but their plan is to visit 12 countries. This month, they're in Australia, where they're working with the most important ethnic group in the region, the Aborigines. JD and his family are helping to get medical supplies to these people, who often live a long way from the major cities.
And is that the first place they've visited?
Oh no, so far they've visited 7 countries. Their first stop was Russia, where they took care of babies in an orphanage in the city of Tomsk. From there, they traveled to China, where they worked with children with physical disabilities in Beijing. Then they flew to Thailand, where they helped take care of the animals at the Elephant Nature Park.
What a variety of places. Where did they go next?
Their next stop was India, where they worked with children in the poorest district of the city of Hubli. Then they left Asia and flew to Africa. In Rwanda, they taught English to children who had lost their parents in the Civil War. From there, they went to Zanzibar, an island off the coast of Tanzania.
That sounds very exotic. What did they do there?
They helped families prepare an art fair where they could sell things that they had made. Next, they went to Kenya, where they wrote and acted in a play with children who have HIV.
Wow, I bet that was very rewarding. Did they go anywhere else in Africa?
No, that was the end of Africa. From Kenya, they flew to Australia, which is where they are right now.
All that sounds amazing. But their trip isn't over, is it?
No, JD and his family still have 4 places to go: Antarctica, Paraguay, Peru, and Haiti. Not only are they trying to do things to help other people, but they are hoping to learn a lot of new things themselves. And J.D. Lewis hopes that the 12 in 12 organization will encourage other families to do what he has done with his sons.
Well, good luck to J.D. Lewis and his family on the rest of their incredible trip. And that's all we have time for tonight. Join us again tomorrow when we'll be bringing you more real-life stories.
Okay, so now you can answer letters A and B about this listening, okay? Great, so this is it, guys. Thank you very much. See you in class. Bye bye.